What's up, everybody? It's Chibi, and today I'm here to bring you a manga chapter review, or two manga chapter reviews of Magi. So, I'm going to briefly talk about the first chapter and then get into the second chapter. So, the format of this video is going to be talking about the first chapter that came out, and then the second chapter last in the later half of the video. So, the first chapter of Magi that just was translated today, about maybe 5-6 hours ago, just somewhere around in there. Anyways, the chapter of Magi is out, so if you did not know, go read it right now, because they're pretty good chapters. They're really huge setup for the upcoming war of what is going on in this series. So, first chapter that came out today, from what we get, it's kind of like both armies are comparing their size. Like, you know, we get to see the Eastern Army and then the Western Army. We get to see each army, what type of size they have, who's leading the command, and that's kind of what the first chapter was of today that came out. The main importance you want to pull from this chapter is, like, this is to end all wars. Like, this is the final battle. That's what this really was trying to emphasize in this chapter, like the first chapter we got today, because Hakuryu is going to the front lines, from what we found out. Like, he gave up a tactical advantage that normally in an original war, you would normally want, especially in a real war like with a canyon, and Hakuryu gave that up, and he charged straight off into the middle of the desert plains to fight the Western Army. So, what this really goes to show is a multiple of different factors. For one thing, as we know, war has been forever changed in this series, because with the introduction of metal vessels and, you know, Magis and different things like that in Dungeon Beast, it's really changed the way battles are done, because usually if there was like a river that could be used as an advantage, now it really doesn't help as much, because someone could have a teleportation metal vessel or magic weapon to be able to teleport across the river. And then it could also be the same done for, like, maybe a metal vessel that can manipulate the elements, like, you know, a volcano, water, things like that. So, war has been forever changed. That's what it's trying to show, and try to showcase that everything is being decided here, and there's no real reason to try to stick to original war tactics that was done in the past. That is what the generals were discussing when they saw Hakuryu charging into the front lines with his entire army, just meeting them out in the open in the middle of the desert. And so there's a lot of meaning in this battle, because the desert represents, like, how the Ko Empire fought over this desert multiple times from different countries to try to make, you know, the world peace. And it's kind of ironic how this desert, where it kind of all started, will be where it finishes. And I love that little segment of the first part of the chapter. So yeah, like I said, what it goes to show us is war's been forever changed, and that Hakuryu is vastly outnumbered compared to the Western Army. Like, the Western Army is fucking ridiculous. Like, it is straight up ridiculous. I don't know the exact numbers. I can't remember the exact numbers on the top of my head, so I'm probably going to be incorrect on this. But if I'm correct, the Western Army has like 600,000 or 500,000 men, somewhere around in there. And Hakuryu's army has like only 100,000 men. That's, holy shit, the difference in size, regardless of not, like, even if it was like 500,000 to 600,000, even with that incredible jump in numbers, it still doesn't make fucking much difference when you go to figure that Hakuryu's army is like only like 100k. That's insane. Straight up insane. So, numbers obviously might not be the deciding factor in this war, which goes to show in the second chapter that was released today. So, talking about the second chapter that was released, we come to find out that the people that Hakuryu has manipulated with Belial and Zagen, he has turned them into monsters, people that do not experience fear. He's increased their attitude or their certain emotions to make it to where they don't care about dying. Like, they don't experience fear. They're just charging in and dying. Like, that's pretty much all they care about. And so he's manipulated the human body to where they've turned into pretty much monsters. That's kind of what Hakuryu has done. And it's demonstrated how these guys are just going in, having a ruthless assault against the Western Army. They're just sitting there tearing them apart, cutting them up and all that, charging in, not giving a shit about themselves as they charge in and try to kill as many as they can before they fall. So, I sense very soon that Hakuryu is probably going to start manipulating everybody on the battlefront. For instance, you know, the people that is being cut down and stuff, or the army that's currently opposing him. I sense it very soon Hakuryu is going to make his move to where he's going to start manipulating the people on the other side and turning them as his pawns or his army minions. I sense that very soon, probably next chapter or a couple chapters from now, but that will probably happen very, very soon. But the main thing you want to get out of the second chapter is Kogoku's change, like how she kind of went crazy in the latest chapter. Like she saw the brutality of war. She saw people getting cut down, just so many people dying. It's fucking brutal. And I mean, war would do that to someone. If you saw so many people just running up and dying, constantly just dropping, hitting the floor, blood all over the place, and if you're not really used to something like that, of course it would be very scarring. So the second chapter really goes to show you the bonds between the brother and sister, but also it goes to show you that war is cruel, and there's going to be some everlasting effects after this battle, especially to Kogyoku after this war. I wonder how long this war is going to last, though. I'm really curious, because I know some shonen wars can last for like 80 chapters, 200 chapters. I just wonder how long Magi's going to go with its, you know, war. Is it going to be 50 chapters, 10 chapters, 2 chapters, you know, 1,000 chapters? I mean, I'm very curious of how many chapters this is going to be, or how much this arc is going to take place, but we'll have to see when we get there. Overall, enjoyed the 2 chapters, very fun. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. Y'all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.